All right, guys. So, link to Abdullah's channels in the description box, and Thaddeus has shared link to the Patreon. But yep, go ahead and support Abdullah to whatever extent you can.
Shik Torana relays the conversation he had with one of the witnesses, that they did not want to be associated with this, knowing that the nikah was not done properly. Even when Sheikh Torana was willing to testify for the truth, others around him chose silence. Witnesses refused to come forward. Shame and fear took precedence over justice.
Unfortunately, this brother Mohammed Hijab, he started out blackmailing me.
Yep.
And I stood on her side. He actually knew that I was the reason for the sister to speak to Ali and to record and all of these things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that makes sense why they're like jumping on him and we're going to expose you. Because he's the one, hey, I'm getting you on with Ali Dawa. When, I mean, just think about the misunderstanding of Mohammed Hijab there. This guy knows she's really, really mad. And so what is going to make you feel better? What if I help you point out that something is messed up in the Dawa community without mentioning any names so you don't get this guy in trouble? That's what Mohammed Torana tries to do. And then Hijab thinks, oh, he's trying to expose me. He's working with Ali Dawa and her to try and expose and humiliate me, but I will humiliate him. How's that working out for you, Hijab? You tactical genius, you. Guy was trying to help you. And you threatened and you blackmailed him instead. Great job. Great job making all the enemies you could possibly ever need.
That's true, right? Because if this worked out for, like Ali Dawa did this anonymous video, maybe she would have stopped and that would have been the end of it and no one would have known it was Hijab.
It probably would. She had the apology. She had the apology. And then she would have felt like, okay, I was worried about other women falling for this. And now Ali Dawa helped me expose this and so on. And therefore, everyone would be good. Everyone would be good. Hijab couldn't take it. Why? Because he's a narcissist. He's a total narcissist. You can't handle losing. Even now, if you're a real narcissist, it's the same exact thing with Andrew Tate. It's you can't bear the thought of losing because it means you're not the exalted person you are. If you lose to regular people, it means you're not this high and exalted person you thought you were who can overcome everything around him with his wit and his will. And you can't bear the thought of that. You can't bear the thought of that. So you just have to keep attacking and keep attacking. Somehow I'm going to win in all of this. And what's the result? Well, Andrew Tate's going to be in prison for a long time, and Hijab's at least going to have some serious lawsuits after crashing and burning like the Hindenburg.
Was aware, and yet he still published videos discrediting the sister, presenting the Sheikh's coerced audio as if it were sincere.
I know that's why I kind of abstain from being around him.
Subhanallah. Sheikh Torana states that he has knowledge of Mohammed Hijab blackmailing others. This is not a one-time occurrence. I had informed Sheikh Torana about the oath that Mohammed Hijab took in our conversation, where he swore by Allah, denying it all. Upon being in shock, he approached Hijab regarding this false oath.
I said to him, making an oath. Allah, this is a big thing. It's a massive thing. I don't know how you can justify to make an oath by Allah. So he deleted the messages quickly. He admitted that he made an oath, and after that he deleted the messages. And then after that, wanted to put the whole day on me, because that's how it is. He wanted this to say that it's scapegoat or something like that. Allah. That's what he's planning. And later on, he started, saying things to the brothers, so that brother Ali Dawa, and he's gonna expose things about me.
I want you to...
What an absolute scumbag, man. Guy tries to do nothing but help you and try to stay out of it, but also do whatever is required of him and go beyond that and trying to smooth over the situation. And what does Hijab do? I will humiliate and destroy this man for not just obeying whatever I say and automatically siding with me. That's what you get. All you Muslims who are watching, please understand the problem that you have here. Narcissists are pretty good at getting attention for themselves. That's what they want. They spend their entire lives learning what gets them attention, and they love that. That is exactly the core ability that makes someone a popular da'i. nowadays. If you can just get a bunch of attention for yourself, the entire ummah will rally around you. Well, who are you getting? You're getting narcissists, and that may work for you for a little while because these guys will get all this attention around them when they're going, ha ha, I'm humiliating the kuffar are so stupid, ha ha. That may work for a while. Eventually this happens because they're in it for themselves. They're in it for their own egos. And that doesn't work well.
You notice Hijab, he's making these videos bragging now about how he's got banned from India. It's like, nobody cares, dude. You were inciting violence. So they banned you. Now you're acting like you're like a hero or something, like you got a badge. Like,
no, that's a response to this, right? That's a response. That's really because of this. It's, if I'm going to get out of this, I need to still be the hero of the ummah. And so what's going on? What's going on? I need to be blasting Israel and blasting India, and to show you how valuable I am. And that's the only way I'm going to get out of this, is if I'm that important to the ummah. Right. So look at me. Elon Musk is coming after me. India's coming after me. Oh my goodness. The Prime Minister of India has declared war on me. It's like, they don't know who you are, man. That's some dude in some office somewhere looking around for content that's dangerous and so on. And it's like, I mean, how much stuff have I had banned by Pakistan? I've even had stuff banned by India. I've had stuff banned by India. You get the notification stuff. This video has been banned in India. I've had multiple things banned in Germany and so on. And I expose it to show what kind of censorship there's going on. But it's not like, oh, I think the kings of the world are all uniting against me.
Exactly.
Yeah. No one can.
Yeah, I've had stuff banned too in like United Arab Emirates and freaking Pakistan, and it's like, okay, move on, dude.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club, exactly.
Yeah, he has to represent this as like all of India's in panic mode over him. Why? So then they'll ignore what's going on right here, Hijab. Too bad we're not ignoring it, Hijab. But go ahead and try. All your decisions have worked out so well for you over these past couple months. Just keep coming up with new ideas. You're great at this.
Pause for a moment. This is a conversation with Shik Torana back in February. He clearly states that Ali Dawah was told by Mohammed Hijab that he was going to expose things about the Sheikh.
So that Ali Dawah is going to expose things about me.
After you're done watching this video, I want you to go back and watch Ali Dawah's response videos. I want you to pay close attention to his performative sincerity while he pretends that both him and Sheikh Torana were duped by Sister Aisha. What a wicked man. Ali didn't just know about it. Ali knowingly deceived the world. He parroted Hijab's lies. He tried to cover for his partner in crime.
So that Ali Dawah.
Did everyone catch that? Because this is really bad. So it's already been like terrible for Mohammed Hijab. It's also terrible for Ali Dawah. Because what's going on here? You could, if you didn't know this, if you didn't know what's going on here, you could think, oh, Ali Dawah heard the story from Aisha, but then he heard Mohammed Hijab, and he didn't know who to believe, but Mohammed Hijab's story sounded more plausible, so he agreed with Mohammed Hijab and sided against Aisha. And so Ali Dawah was just another victim of Mohammed Hijab. No. Mohammed Torana is pointing out Ali Dawah knows. He knew this. He knew this. He knew that Mohammed Hijab is blackmailing people. He knew all of this. He knew
everything
it.
Everything Ali Dawah did. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he knew he was lying to people. He knew he was throwing the victim under the bus. He knows what Mohammed Hijab did. He knows all of this, and he still helped Hijab lie to try and help him escape from all this. So Ali Dawah is doing the exact same thing Mohammed Hijab do, and helping Hijab do it, helping him blackmail people, helping him deceive people. So this isn't just, oh, he's a friend who's siding with his buddy and he doesn't know and he's just siding with his buddy. This is, he knows his buddy is lying. He knows his buddy is being pure evil. And so everything Ali Dawah said, oh, my loyalty is not to this man. This is just to Allah. Bull, you liar. You liar. You're in it for yourself because you're a narcissist, just like your buddy, Mohammed Hijab. What was that, Abdullah?
I was just going to say everything that happened that Ali Dawah did, we now, based on this, we now know the uploads he did where he was pretending to not know who it was, but he knew who it was, the losing of the interview. Oh, I lost the interview and my friend lost the interview and I don't have any copies of it. Then the whole thing he did where he went back and slandered Salman, saying you did zina and all of those things. Every single thing he did was knowing fully well from the very beginning from a third-party sheikh who was behind this hotel manage situation.
And he's gonna expose things about me.
He helped Hijab build the illusion that Sheikh Torana was retracting his support of Sister Aisha, while knowing full well it was a result of pressure, threats, and blackmail. Shame on you, Ali Dawa. May you always be known as a master of deception and a wicked liar.
That's what I knew him as a wicked liar. I still wouldn't call him master of deception. These guys are not masters of deception. These are tactical morons who are also compulsive liars.
I think we can add coward, though.
Coward, yes. Yes, coward. Because you should have stood up for what's right.
But him to use these things to blackmail me, the worst thing, someone could do to someone who had taught him in the past. Someone helped him, genuinely helped him, even throughout his marriage, even his second marriage. And then he said to me, by deadline, by tonight, I have to send a voice apologies or something like that I misrepresented him or something, because he wanted to use this to say, okay, he is the one who's wronging me, it's not someone else. So basically, that's how it is.
Subhanallah. So he wants to use this as proof, essentially, that, Ya Allah.
And the whole thing is a lie. At the end of the day, I rely on Allah to making dua against him at the end of the day, because he oppressed me. So now, what is the after all of this?
Hey, Sheikh Mohammed Torana. I have a pretty high level of confidence that you don't like us. But I want it to be clear, on this issue, we are on the same side. You're the one here who is doing the right thing. So if you ever need us to share anything to help defend you, happy to do it, because you're the one who's doing the right thing here.
But he's not blackmailing me. I didn't respond to him at all.
Oh, and if you want to want to quietly slip us what you want us to share while publicly blasting us as evil kuffar, I'm fine with that. Anyone who wants to throw me under the bus, I will still try to help people who are doing the right thing.
Actually,
what's up?
We should say that to Aisha as well, right?
Same to Aisha.
Yep.
Aisha, you are complete.
We'll pretend you never talked to us, right?
Yeah, we would advise you to leave Islam. You should see that this is false, and all the guys you trusted for Dawa, you should see what they're actually like, what liars they are, and you should call into question some of the Dawa stuff they taught you over the years. But if you're going to remain Muslim, we understand you are completely correct. If you're remaining Muslim, to attack us and say, shame on yourself for contacting us and so on back in the day, and you made a mistake. Totally fine. Call us whatever you want. But if you ever need us to share anything, let us know. And we'll keep it quiet that we're deliberately helping you at your request. We'll just, hey, look at this. We're bringing this to light, ladies and gentlemen. Happy to help. Again, throw us under the bus. We don't care.
Yeah, and the more we do it, I was going to say, the more we do it, the more Muslim channels have to deal with it. It forces them to deal with it. Because, again, if Mohammed Hijab got his way, this whole thing is going to disappear and she's going to be silenced. We're exploding it to the point where they can't ignore it anymore. And then people see the Christian channel, and then they see other atheist channels, and they're like, you have to talk about this. This is all over the internet.
Yeah, guys, so we have all these differences. Christians, Muslims, atheists, we have all these differences and so on. There are a number of people. There are Muslims, there are atheists, there are Christians, there are Jews, there are Hindus who, on this particular issue of whether this guy did something messed up and should be exposed, we're all on the same side here. We're all on the same side of this issue, and we can all agree. We can all agree a woman should not be treated like this. And a person who does this should not be allowed to get away with it because he is important to something and he can use it to his advantage.
You are in a problem. You have done mischief on earth. You have done all these wrong things. You have done, you made an oath by Allah as well, and in the wrong way. It's a testimony against the truth. And yet, you expect the other people to do that the same. If I showed you that the message is so disgusting. For example, he sent me earlier messages, and he was saying, I know things about you. Even he's blackmailing me. Even the message I sent him, telling him, "Akhi, fear Allah, repent to Allah." This thing, yeah.
This wasn't.
Do you guys hear that? I mean, he's just telling Mohammed Hijab, you need to repent. You need to repent of what you've done. You swore an oath and you're lying. This is some serious stuff. If you're actually a real Muslim, this is some serious stuff. But I don't know if you guys caught it. He said you're guilty of corruption in the earth. That's pretty serious, because that's in the Quran. That's Surah 533 says what the penalty for making mischief in the world is. So he's taking this pretty seriously about what Hijab's doing. Wow.
Merely a threat. This was a spiritual mafia boss threatening his elder, his former teacher. This is where the mask begins to fall. Instead of repentance, Mohammed Hijab launched a campaign of threats, giving false religious oaths, deleting evidence, and preparing a narrative to scapegoat the very man who once taught him.
The situation is worse and worse. It's escalating, as you know. It's basically now, wallahi, things escalated. Basically, he's using me as a scapegoat for the whole thing. Basically, that's the whole thing. He's now on my case, you could say. He went to the brothers from my era, and he's now tarnishing my name, putting things. I understand now. It's basically, I'm going through a difficult time. And today, wallahi, because of the stress, subhanAllah, I don't want to get into these things. I was so stressed to the extent, I was vomiting all day, wallahi, khifillah. He is now tarnishing my name. He's now bringing things, and, Allah understand. And now, wallahi, I don't know if I'm capable to take this matter anymore, wallahi, to that extent. And he, as I mentioned to you, in his way in dealing with things that he has, against anyone that he deals with, he has, evidences and things like that against everyone. He has already done that. He has already attacked me. He has already started, as you know. He has already went today to support the head of our era. And because we work together. Today in the morning I went to the hospital. I was discharged in the afternoon. I was, my health went way down and things went in a bad way. Until now I'm back. I don't know, I didn't eat for the last 3 days actually. For the last 2 days. No food, and my health declined. I understand. This is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that when he said, Allah is taking you from the Rijal, from the top of the men. SubhanAllah, he kind of...
This guy's seeking refuge with Allah from Hijab and the stuff that Hijab is doing. This is messed up. I already thought this was a massively dysfunctional community, but I mean, look at this. He's like destroying a sheikh, like physically, to where this guy can't even function, and it's because what's Hijab doing? Oh, you didn't do what I say. You didn't fall on your sword for me and lie for me. And take a false oath for me. You wouldn't swear by Allah and tell a lie for me. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go around. And he's going around to all his little era buddies and getting them to try and destroy this guy.
Cancel him,
yeah.
Yeah, I think the timeline is that the first video came out and Hijab basically said, you have until midnight to give me a retraction, a confession, something I can use, which he provided, right? That's what that voice clip that Hijab plays. But then after that, Hijab, the situation is getting worse for Hijab. He's experiencing a lot of pressure, and he starts blaming Tarawneh and saying, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. You are the reason I'm in this situation. And then Hijab gives an oath to Behind Veils saying that he didn't do any of this. And Tarawneh's like, you can't make an oath to Allah and testify to these false things. And that is when things really went downhill for him, right? Because when he confronted Hijab about the false oath, like he was going to play nice and give the little vague clip that Hijab can use. And he's like, buddy, you just swore to Allah. You just swore to Allah something we both know is false. You can't do that. I fear for your soul. I fear for your life from Allah, right? Not because of like blackmail. And then Hijab's response is,
I will
well,
humiliate
your
you.
life's over, buddy. Your life's over. I'm going to anyone you work with, telling them that they should fire you. They should disassociate with you. I'm taking away your employment. And he's under so much stress because of his life falling apart, right? Probably people confronting him saying Hijab's coming to us, and he's saying this stuff, and we don't know what to do. We're in a really tough situation because we don't want to alienate Hijab, but we know that you're a good guy or whatever. We don't know what to do about this. And now he's like, oh, my life is destroyed. And he's like under so much stress he can't eat. And then he's vomiting and he goes to the hospital because of this. And this is all because he got confronted. He confronted Hijab about making a false oath to Allah.
Yeah, you don't do that. You don't do that, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because Mohammed Hijab does what he wants, and no one has a right to question him. He can lie. He can turn Muslim women into prostitutes. He can do anything he wants, and there's nothing you're allowed to do, according to Mohammed Hijab. This is your hero, Muslims. This is the hero of the Ummah. This is the guy who's gonna protect Pakistan from India somehow. Yeah, isn't it crazy? Along the same lines, all you Muslims who are watching, because you don't seem to understand like these low-level basic manipulation tactics that you always fall for 100% of the time with guys like this. Hijab exploded in popularity since October 7th. You look at his like Twitter followers since October 7th. Him constantly running his mouth like he's the hero. Name anything that he has done to help anyone in Gaza in any way. Name anything he has done to help anyone in any way. You can't. He used it to help himself. That's what he does. That's what a narcissist does. You're like, oh, but he said all these things. He said all the things because he knows exactly what things to say to get you to rally around him and support him. Now he's going through all this, and he's about to start doing the exact same thing with India. And he will spend the next several months running his mouth about India, never doing anything that's going to help one person in Pakistan. It's not going to, it has zero relevance to anything, but he'll run his mouth in a way that he makes you guys think that he's the hero in all of this. It's what he does. And you're too blind and stupid and gullible to see it. Even when I'm telling you about it. Anyway, back to the Sheikh here.
Went around and finished my name.
Oh.
People came to me, so and he was planning to actually to escalate things to all the centers, all the people that I'm working with. Okay, well, I'm tired. I can't take it anymore. I went to the hospital today. My uncle couldn't drive. My wife took me to the hospital. And I was sick. And all night I was, can you imagine? And I'm vomiting and there's nothing. Like this, I couldn't, something happens because of the, when you're overstressed, sometimes, alhamdulillah, I was doing my car, my Quran, but things too much even to think. Can you imagine, Allah, it's, generally, whenever I read the Quran, I'm always, have be more emotionally attached. Yesterday, I couldn't, to that extent. And I read you the message that he sent me, that saying he said damage, and he was preparing stages of damaging to me.
You say stages of damaging, like for the escalation? Here's what I'm going to do. So he goes and talks to people. Hey, I'm going to get you, get all these guys coming after you. And then it says he talks to the various centers, so Islamic centers. Hey, do not associate with this guy. He's blacklisted. He's siding with the kuffar, trying to bring down the Dawah because he wants it for himself. When no, that's what Hijab is the narcissist here, not Mohammed Torana, but he represents him as the bad guy who's trying to bring down the Dawah. And apparently was preparing to escalate even more.
Was preparing to go to
sorry, one thing. Pause it. Sorry. I was just gonna say, like people commenting about his voice, like this is an old guy that's having like probably a health crisis at this point due to the stress that's been caused by Mohammed Hijab basically canceling him. And what you're hearing is he's struggling to keep it together when he's saying this. Like it sounds like he's crying, or he's going to cry, he's going to break down. He's basically very, very emotional. Like he doesn't sound like this in the other clips. But yeah, poor guy. I genuinely feel bad for him, like what he's going through, and it's not over yet for him. I don't know. Who knows if he's going to recover from this? Ali Dawa was threatening on the on his last video when people are commenting about Shik Torana. They're like, he's like, oh, we have something we're going to tell you the real reason he went to the hospital. And so they have some dirt on him. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's legitimate or whatever. But the point that needs to be made clear is it doesn't matter. All of these things are distractions from hijab. None of these things matter. The fact is, go back to the true story, the main point. Hijab wronged this woman. Doesn't matter what Mohammed Tarawneh did or didn't do. None of that matters. What matters is he's a witness, and now the character assassinating the witness. That's what these guys do, right? They're throwing him under the bus because he's the only one that out of 100 imams that was willing to get involved, and of course Salman and Abu Ayyub. So,
and this is a message. This is a message to everyone else. That's what Hijab's trying to do. Do not cross us. We do whatever we want. You keep your mouth shut. And if we tell you to lie for us, you better lie for us. This is straight up mafia. This is straight up mafia stuff right here. And this is Dawa.
This wasn't just a series of threats. It became a physical, spiritual, and psychological assault. A respected scholar vomiting from stress, hospitalized, unable to eat for doing the right thing. A man who has given his life to Dawa, now suffering breakdowns, health collapse, and public slander. This is the cost of crossing a powerful man who refuses accountability.
That's the key characteristic, refuses accountability. There's no concept of accountability with Mohammed Hijab. Everything revolves around him. That's the way it is.
Yeah?
No.
Maybe I know the brother for years, yeah. Honestly, I know him for years. I knew as my student at some point, etc. And I met you. I know you for only the last maybe couple of weeks, correct? But for me, I have a lot of respect to you compared to him. I honor you, my brother, and I believe you are sincere.
As I said, Sheikh, I don't want you to get involved. You know, subhanAllah, I just pray that, like you mentioned before, if this does go to a Sharia council and they ask for you, inshallah, I hope you can just cooperate with them and just stay out of it, right? Like, you're doing your job in the sight of Allah, and that's it.
And even in Sharia council, he might use this one to he would say to discredit my testimony basically as well. But that's how it is. I know that, and that's part of it.
So why would someone...
Yeah.
So two things. One is, Salman is doing what I would do, which is, feeling bad for this guy and saying, I hope you can stay out of it as much as possible. Just give your testimony and, you'll be done. It's not going to happen like that. But, that's a nice thing that he said. Did you know what he meant? Did anyone understand? Do either of you understand what he meant by they're going to use that to discredit me if I give my testimony to the council?
Yeah, that part I understood instantly. I understood that as... they're not playing the entire conversation. They probably had discussed, here's what Mohammed Hijab is attacking me with, is attacking my credibility with. And if I go to the Sharia court, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to say, you can't trust this man because he did this or something like that. And but Behind Veils didn't want to actually play that part of the discussion to say, whatever they're using, whatever leverage they have on him and so on, he didn't want to say it there. So I think they're just continuing the conversation there. And he's saying, but if we go to the Sharia council, they're going to bring this up against me like they're doing behind the scenes right now. And like whatever Ali Dawa's going to bring out now, oh, the real reason he was in the hospital because of this, right? I think they're saying this is what they're going to bring out against me there as well. And he's saying, you know what? I got to do it anyway if I have to testify.
So one thing of note here, in the original Behind Veils video, they just say a Sheikh, right? They say a Sheikh, similar phrases multiple times. They, I think, intended never to reveal Sheikh Toraneh's name, right? Never bring him into the public record. But, Not Hijab immediately responds and is like, oh, Sheikh Torana, Sheikh Torana, Sheikh Torana. So then at that point, he's part of the story. But it's not because of Behind Veils. It's because of Mohammed Hijab.
Tactical geniuses.
Public figure who has influence over millions of people, why would he succumb to such malicious and criminal behavior?
Because he's a narcissist.
This wasn't his first secret marriage. This was, at the very least, his second.
I would, completely serious, I would guess at least 20, just based on the kind of guy he is. I would guess at least 20. I don't have any proof of that. I'm saying based on his personality type, he probably loves this. And it would not surprise me. It would not surprise me even slightly if it came out and it's been over 100. And he's just been doing this all along. Every time he's traveling to a city, he gets a new Misyar wife. Wouldn't surprise me in the least.
There is a very interesting line in the original testimony of Aisha that when she was like, things were going bad and they broke up, she said that he said to me, if I took care of all the women surrounding me, I would have nothing left for the Dawa.
Yeah, that's part, guys.
He seems to say there's a lot.
That's part of the reason. So that sounds like part of the reason. It's like, Hijab, you have tons of support. You got tons of piles of money rolling in, and you're not willing to give this woman a dime after the mahar, except paying for the hotel room maybe, and then maybe a Happy Meal here and there. But you're not willing to give this woman a dime. Why? Why would you not be willing? Even if you want to keep her as a hotel wife, why wouldn't you give her some level of support? His explanation, according to Aisha, was if I tried to fund the women around me, I wouldn't be able to do any dawah. I wouldn't have it. I'd have to be that sounds like this is a pretty regular thing for him, that I have to say.
The mental breakdown when his wife in the past, when she discovered him being married again, she took the kids away from him for nearly a year.
When his wife found out from the previous secret second wife, she left him for nearly a year. You would think he didn't learn his lesson, but in fact, he learned a very tactful one.
Yep. To
ensure that he would do everything in his ability to cover all his tracks.
Guys, that's a psychopath, narcissist. Those guys, they're usually not learning from they're learning from their mistakes, but not the way most people learn from their mistakes. You learn, oh, this is just a completely wrong thing to do. I need to stop doing that. What they learn is, here's why I got caught. Let me make sure let me take steps to where I do not get caught. Right? That's what happens when you take like a criminal, you lock him up. Sometimes they learn from their lesson and they stop committing crimes. But sometimes it's just, then you have a couple years in prison to figure out why you got caught. And okay, let me make sure I never do that again, so I don't get caught. It's never with the guys who are going to continue this stuff. It's never, hey, I've learned not to treat people like this. A narcissist is not learning, I've learned that it's wrong to treat people like this. All he learned is, here's where I messed up, and here's why I got caught. So this time, let me make sure I'm deleting my messages. Let me make sure all the witnesses are on my side. Let me make sure anyone who's involved in any way, I have massive leverage over, and I can humiliate the person if they ever cross me. Let me make sure the woman is easy to discredit if she ever crosses me. That's what he's learning. He's learning that. He's learning how to get away with it better.
To use a burner phone to conduct the nikah without names or faces, to ensure there was no physical contract, and to ensure he had full control over all those that did remotely
That's funny. He said exactly what I just said.
All while spending years collecting compromising data that he could later use against his next victim.
That's what you do.
In the case she ever decided to speak up.
And actually, it was my mistake when I sent him a voice note of advising him to say, you can't make an oath with Allah Azza wa Jal, and you make an oath with Allah with these things. That's the advice. And then he raised the war against me just after I said to him, ittaqillah. As Allah said, ittaqillah, akhadhatu al-izzatu wal-ithm. He was called to have taqwa min Allah fi Allah, and then his pride and arrogance to transgress and to do sins.
In the end, Shik Torana's only mistake, in his words, was advising Hijab to fear Allah. For that, he was blackmailed, slandered, and betrayed by someone he once called his student. But the truth remains, he fought and struggled to maintain integrity over protection, until he began to collapse and feared for his health and his livelihood. For years, we've heard of the term Dawah Mafia. Today, we witnessed it in action. Mohammed Torana.
So funny to hear the Muslims say that.
It is. Well, it's also like he's significantly, Hijab wants to be recognized as like well-spoken and so on, but he'll just like look up words in a thesaurus and he sounds like an idiot because half the time he doesn't know how to use the words. This guy's very, very well-spoken and has very, very good rhetoric and so on.
Has been a respected sheikh, dedicating his life to giving dawah and helping people grow in their faith. Yet when Mohammed Hijab realized he was a liability due to him being a man of truth, Hijab blackmailed him, giving him until midnight to send a message and voice note that could be twisted to make Sister Aisha look like a liar. And when the midnight deadline passed, he began tarnishing the sheikh's name, reaching out to IERA and different organizations, poisoning Torana's reputation, and ultimately triggering his spiritual, emotional, and physical collapse. Shik Torana recounts vomiting from stress, being hospitalized, and not eating for 3 days. This man dedicated his life to Dawah, and Hijab treated him like collateral damage.
Yes, he did. By the way, you guys think Ali Dawah will go through with it, or you think he's learned? Think he'll go through with it? Do you think he'll go through with an attack on Mohammed Tarana, knowing that no one's buying it anymore?
Yeah, he's already saying that on the channel.
That's what I mean. You think he's actually going to do it, or you think everyone's like behind the scenes like, are you crazy? Do you have any idea what an evil scumbag you look like right now?
I mean, if he wants to throw himself further under the bus for the sake of Hijab, well, that's his choice. But know that Hijab would not do the same for Ali Dawah.
No, of course not.
I guarantee Hijab will not do the same for Ali Dawah. If Ali Dawah was the one who got in a scandal, Hijab would be like, he's gone. I cut him off. That's it. End of story.
There's also the question of like, how far is Hijab willing to go in the sense that like, is he like even behind the scenes like, Ali Dawah, you know what I know about you? You better continue attacking Mohammed Tarana. Here's what I will expose you for. Gotta wonder at this point, because this guy seems like pure evil.
This isn't just moral failure. This is criminal. This is spiritual abuse. This is the dark side of the Dawa Mafia. And now, collectively, we must call for accountability. Do not let this case become...
This is the dark side, unlike the normal great side.
Another
of the Dawa
chapter.
Mafia.
Yeah, the Dawa Mafia, the dark side of the Dawa Mafia, not the sunshine and roses that we're all familiar with.
In the long history of religious cover-ups, like those in the Catholic Church. To the community in London, file criminal charges against Mohammed Nabil Hijab. This is blackmail and must render legal consequences. To the Islamic Council of Europe, issue a public condemnation. Launch a full investigation. Let your silence not be your complicity. To the Muslim Ummah, protect Sheikh Mohammed Torana by all means necessary. He tried his...
You know what's interesting, guys? I'm agreeing with everything he's saying to do right now, even like protecting the Sheikh and so on. I agree completely. I'm a non-Muslim. These guys do not like me. I agree completely because they're the ones who are doing the right thing here. And every step of the way behind veils has done everything right that I can possibly see, and everything they're recommending is right on the money.
Just don't like that on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even David Wood agrees with me.
to stand for the truth and ended up paying the price. He was coerced. He was blackmailed. He was harmed. His words were used to justify what they deemed as a masterful cover-up. The veil has been lifted, the lies have unraveled, and the truth, it has pierced through the silence. The Dawa Mafia has been exposed. To Mohammed Hijab, you tried to silence the truth. You tried to bury it in threats, fear, and deception. But you forgot one eternal law. The truth takes root in darkness, yet it always rises and emerges into the light. That day is today. And the world now sees you for what you are, a prolific liar, a master of manipulation, a shameless criminal cloaked in piety. But this was no solo crime. Let Ali Dawah also be known to the world as another prolific liar.
And unless the good folks at IERA come out, you know, Hamza Tortoise and all these guys, we're going to have to regard you guys as complicit too, because you guys are the ones who are tearing down Sheikh Mohammed Tarana. So if you're still doing that after all this has come out, and you haven't come forward and said we messed up, we didn't know. Mohammed Hijab was telling us this guy was trying to destroy Dawa and so on. So we thought we had to do something, but now that the information has come out. We know that Hijab is the one who was lying, and he's the one who's evil. If you guys don't come out, I'm lumping all of you together with Mohammed Hijab and Ali Dawa on this one. You guys are all terrible, evil scum.
Another agent of deceit, another shameless criminal, not in ignorance, but in complicity. Because when you protect a wolf in the name of Dawa, you become part of the slaughter. In the upcoming days, you may see additional responses trying to induce doubts to the authenticity of everything you just heard. But I will state this with Allah as my witness. I swear by the one in whose hands is my soul. Everything you heard was from Sheikh Mohammed Torana. I believe in his sincerity and I believe him to be a God-fearing man. To Mohammed Hijab, I hope you spend the next few weeks crafting a list of apologies. First and foremost to Sister Aisha, for the significant harm and trauma you caused her. And when she sought help, when she tried to speak up, you did everything in your power to destroy her, to discredit her, and to demonize her. Second, to...
Yeah, seriously, if Mohammed Hijab had an ounce of common sense in his head, he would be apologizing. And it would be... What's crazy is he could actually emerge from this. Say, guys, look, I know. I was just so worried about my kids and not having access to my kids anymore. I lost it. I just lost it. And yeah, I did all this horrible messed up stuff. It was just, I couldn't bear the thought of losing my kids again. And a lot of people would forgive him if he posted apologies to everyone here. Problem is, he's a complete narcissist, and so he's going to keep trying to destroy them. So,
Sheikh Mohammed Torana for blackmailing him and launching a smear campaign against him, which led him to being hospitalized, vomiting, and unable to eat for 3 days. Third, to your wife and your children for deceiving them and for causing all of this humiliation to circle back to your home. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect and preserve them, including their honor and their dignity. Lastly, for myself, I do not seek nor do I want an apology from you. Mark my words. Wallahi, I will look for you on the day of judgment and know with full certainty I will find you, because this is the promise of our Lord. For those who have deceived and transgressed, repent, cast your apologies, and seek forgiveness from those you have wronged and harmed. For a day will come when you will be held into full account.
That, I will look for you on the day of judgment and I will find you. That's pretty gangsta. That's like, that's kind of like Aisha. That's kind of like Aisha in that early stuff when she's challenged him to mubahala and so on.
Well, is it going to be naked and circumcised looking for him? Apparently, they're all naked and circumcised on Day of Judgment, right?
I mean, mocking his ideas about Islam aside, I mean, what he's saying is, I know I'm right. You owe me an apology, but I will not accept an apology. You stand in judgment before Allah, right? What you've done, I will not forgive you for, is what he is saying, basically, when he says those words.
Yeah,
that was pretty gangsta. So everyone
about Subur. He mentions Subur Ahmed by name. Subur, you need to come out and you need to tell us what's going on with Hijab trying to get Mohammed Tarawneh fired and your involvement in this. Were you involved in taking away this old man, this poor guy's job because of your buddy Hijab? Or are you an honest, just, righteous Muslim that, you don't listen to buddies when they're having personal problems because they've been exposed by someone? Which one is it? Are you going to stand up for justice and give this man his job? Or are you going to kick him out because of your little buddies then this little weasel, slimy behavior that's been happening?
And because Mohammed Hijab undoubtedly has all kinds of dirt on Hamza Tortoise, on Sabor, on all these guys. And what he's already kind of outed you as far as what you guys are doing behind the scenes. I mean, my goodness, look at this.
Most of the big names of Dawa have at least done polygamy once. The Du'at, I would say it's about 85%.
That's the Dawa guys. Those are the guys he works with. That's the era. 85% of these guys are doing these second, third, fourth marriages and so on behind the scenes.
The best are the revert sisters.
The women who take it the best are the revert sisters. Notice the double meaning.
It even reaches
Not everyone knows
50%
about it.
fix. In the UK, what percentage of imams and shuyukh and du'at have a second wife? What percentage would you say?
Look at the grin on his face.
That's very difficult to know, but
It's all a joke.
that's a difficult one. It depends on what kind of community as well. Like the Asians here, they're not really into it that much. The Pakistanis but the reverts are into it. Like black people are into it here. You know, not all blacks. Somali uncles are into it. Like a lot of Somalis with it. You'll find like Somalis have a lot. Arabs are into it. North Africans do it. You know, so it depends. I think a lot of it is to do with like community-based demographics and how the woman will take it. The women who take it the best are the revert sisters.
You know what he's
From
doing? He's telling on himself again.
Yep. Oh, he's about to tell on himself like crazy when he
Way more.
yeah. Yeah, so in all of this, I mean, keep in mind, he's telling on the whole community and stuff. We all say, hey, there's a problem with this. Oh, we don't do that. We don't do that anymore. That was just for the time of Muhammad. Of course we're doing this. Of course we're doing it. Ha, 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 ha. It's a joke.
Experience of observing the situation.
Watch this, watch this.
The best are the revert sisters. From my experience of observing the situation, you know.
Do you see him start laughing, guys? Everyone pay attention to what he just said. Because we're sitting here saying, okay, it's been at least one other extra wife besides Aisha and so on. But here he's laughing and said, the women who take it the best are the revert sisters. So, and he says, from my experience. And then he catches himself and says, of observing how they take it. And then he starts laughing because everyone got it. Everyone got it. My experience of all the different women that I've been in polygamous marriages with, the ones who take best, being the second, third, fourth wife, are the reverts. That's why we focus so much on winning women to Islam, because we know they're the ones who are going to take it the best. Why? Because they get in, they don't know anything about Islam, and you can just mold them into whatever you want. But guys, watch this one more time, this little part, right? He's clear. Because I said it wouldn't surprise me if this guy's been doing this 100 times or more. But he kind of gives it away right here. He's had experience of all the different ways that all the different Muslim women take this. How they take it. And in his expert opinion, based on his broad experience with all of this, the revert sisters are the ones who take it best. So watch him say it one more time.
And how the woman will take it. The women who take it the best are the revert sisters. From my experience of observing the situation, you know, I thought it's so yani.
Did you guys catch that? It's all a joke. I almost let it slip out. Yeah, you did let it slip out. You giant walking clown emoji.